My name is Albert J. Michaud, Jr. I'm one of the tenants in Central Towers. And my association with Bart Jordan began with a disaster in his apartment. One of the ladies that was here, well, she is still here. I didn't know that she was still here, but anyway, she is. And she took him for a walk up to what is known as Pine Hill Cemetery, which is about 7 or 8 blocks up from here. And it was time enough to give management time to go into his apartment. 2 of them did. Went into his apartment. They took 3 jugs of water, gallon jugs of water, and smashed them all over his floor, and did it deliberately with the intention of getting him out of the building.
How many years ago was that?
It must be 4 or 5 years ago. I don't remember exactly.
So it was after the big thing in 2004 when he was on 103, and then they...
long after. That was in 2004,
right,
when he was forced out of apartment 103 and ended up upstairs in 303.
Right.
And they threw out all his stuff, and they apparently passed it off as being getting rid of trash, that they didn't know it was valuable stuff.
Yes, it was moldy.
Yeah, that it was moldy and whatnot, and it had to be thrown out, etc., etc.
But when you saw the glass broken, that was your clue that these guys were crazy.
Yeah, well, the glass, they knew that his eyesight is very poor, and he would cut himself trying to take care of the glass, and some of that glass may well still be there under the stove and under the refrigerator of the apartment. Some of it. We tried to get all of it, and of course I mopped up all the water. I took 2 nights. I took between 3 and 4 hours a night working there to get it done. Well, 2 or 3 days after that, Bart was over to the library, and when he came back, one of the 2 guilty parties, and we know that they were the ones that did it, Larry, his name is. He, I believe, is currently the janitor, and he and Sean, Larry and Sean came into Bart's apartment and did all this destruction. Well, anyway, we know that they're the ones, and
because they had the keys to it?
They had the keys. All maintenance men have keys to all the apartments in this building, and I gather in the other buildings that Dover Housing manages. Anyway, Larry was on the way out, and Bart was on the way back in on what we call the ramp, which comes in on the 5th floor on the Central Avenue side of the building. And as he approached Bart, he said to him, "Are you moving out now?" with an emphasis like that on the now. Well, that told us right away that they were the ones that did this, and it was done with the purpose of discouraging Bart from staying here and hoping to drive him out.
Why do you think they want him out?
Beg your pardon?
Why did they want him out? Do you think?
Partly because of what he achieved today. I would say partly because of what he achieved today. Of course, this is all sort of hush-hush. Dover Housing likes you to think, or wants you to think, that everything is normal, everything goes on normally, everybody is happy in here and all this and that and the other thing, which the victims of Dover Housing know perfectly well that that is not the case. And another thing, if you help anyone that is being mistreated, then you are also mistreated. Now, they have destroyed my mail. For 18 months, they destroyed my mail. And
How old are you now?
I am 87 now, 87 years old. Anyway, a woman by the name of Glavinsky, her last name was Glavinsky, she trapped themselves, and not long after that she resigned, because that night she trapped herself. I mentioned that I knew of someone. I was there to complain about my mail, that I wasn't getting my mail. Junk mail, yes, but legitimate mail, like my stuff from the bank particularly, was taken and destroyed. We later found that Sean was probably, either Sean or Larry, the same ones that did the deviltry in his apartment, were also destroying my mail. And anyway, I happened to mention, I didn't mention a name, but I said, you know, I said to Mrs. Glavinsky, I said, a lot of people in Dover housing are tortured by management in various ways. I said, there's one man now down there, I didn't mention his name, I did not mention his name. One man down there, I said, they're doing horrible things to him, unbelievable things. And they were destroying his mail too, they destroyed his mail, especially mail pertaining to medicine, particularly that. And she said, oh, you must mean Bart Jordan. I said to myself, how did you know that? You had to have known it, and you have to have been involved in it in some way. I'm not thinking this to myself. And it wasn't long after that that she decided to retire. She was about that age. She was about 65-ish, I would say, somewhere around there. And she's gone. And I then warned, sometime after that, I warned Sean. I said, you know, tampering with the mail, did you know that that's a crime? Well, I don't know. I don't have anything to do with that. I don't have anything to do with that. I don't know. Well, I said, I just want you to know. Oh, he's a big liar. Our superintendent is a terrific liar. He loves to lie. In fact, I called him that right to his face one day. Well, anyway, I said, do you know that tampering with the mail is a crime? And I says, it's not a local crime. It's not a local, like 30 days in jail. I says, it's a federal crime. And I said, minimum sentence, 5 years in the federal pen. I said, remember that. And he didn't say any more. This is humorous. One day I was guard dogging, and it's Sean that called me the guard dog. And I was doing my watchdog work in his apartment, which I did today. I did it there today. I was there for several hours today. And anyway, oh yeah, he was talking with some woman one day, one of the new tenants that just came in. And I got off the elevator and went over to get my mail. By this time I was getting it again. And he told this woman, oh, there goes the guard dog. Well, at first I resented that, kind of resented that, being called a guard dog. But then I said, what does a guard dog do? A guard dog protects property. And sometimes even the lives of the people that own that property sometimes. I thought, I'll buy that. I'll buy that. I just want to divert for a second because I want to make a point. I'm proud of that, being called a guard dog. And to my dying day, I don't mind if they call me a guard dog. I wear the title, the guard dog. And the one who called me the guard dog called me that because of the fact that he is involved in what I have to guard. He's involved in this. And the reason he called me that, it was a few days before that, the guy who is now the head of the maintenance men, the head of the maintenance men, he's about 6'4" or 6'5". He's quite a big fellow. And one day I was doing my guard dog duty in Bart's apartment. There was a knock on the door. He was at the door. He had a hose over his right shoulder, I think, a length of hose. Oh, he said, you're not the man that's usually here. I said, no, I'm not. I said, did you want something? Well, and he started, there's a blocked up toilet on the 4th floor. Well, I suggest that you go up there and fix it then. Well, yes, I guess I have to, and he some more. Well, when Bart got back, I told him about this. And anyway, I'll tell you in a minute what he was really after. He knew what he was after. It wasn't a blocked up toilet. Well, anyway, Bart went up. He went up to the lady in the floor above him and the one in the floor above that. And when he came back, the expression on his face was such, he didn't need to tell me what the answer was. I knew what the answer was, of course, that they had no trouble with any apartment. What he was really after was to steal Bart's drugs, to steal Bart's drugs. Fortunately, at 87, I'm not on any drugs. And I have a wonderful immune system for an old guy or even for a younger guy. I have a very good immune system and whatnot. And I can take a beating. I don't look like I can take a beating, but I can, in various ways.
So what do you think is going to happen to Bart?
Beg pardon?
What do you think is going to happen to Bart? He's 80 now and
Eventually, they're hoping.
Yeah.
I think they're hoping that he will die a natural death, and then they can probably hoping the same for me, and that they can get rid of us. And currently, they're torturing us with bed bugs.
Yeah.
In fact, right behind where you're sitting, I have a little vial. It's full of bed bugs. That's another thing Sean does. He scatters bed bugs in some of the victims' apartments, those who are to be victimized, get bed bug treatment. Well, they did that to me late spring, I believe it was. They did that to me. There were no bed bugs in the apartment. But they cooked my apartment. They cooked it at a very high temperature, supposedly to kill the bed bugs. I got bed bugs after they cooked the apartment. The next time they cooked it again, a few months later they cooked it again, they stole 2 items. And we're not letting them in here. We're not letting them in. They stole a cart, a metal cart like you would use at the supermarket. A little smaller than that, but that type of cart. They have some downstairs on the first floor that people can use for various reasons. That belonged to me. They stole that, and they also stole something from Bart. He had an oval thing that was a combination radio and record player. Well, he doesn't call it record player. He has another name for that.
CD? CD?
Something like that, yeah. And they stole that from one of my closets, and they stole the cart from right in back there. And of course they denied that they stole it, and
So do you think he's going to get out of here before he dies, or do you think he's going to die here?
I don't know.
And how about
He
you?
does have high blood pressure.
How about you? I mean, I did write you a letter, and you have a bank account. You have the ability of leaving this place if you chose to, with help.
If I chose to, I have the ability of leaving,
Yeah.
yes.
So what's holding you back?
Well, first of all, I'm waiting to see how Bart's work is going to work out. I'm waiting to see how that's going to be.
He told me you thought that this program today was going to be a big deal.
Yeah, he
But,
he told me that,
But
yes.
But it's not.
And-
It's not produced. The problem that he has is that it's just me and
Well, he's
him.
got to get his stuff up on the internet.
Well, we're doing that, and that's been helpful.
Yeah.
And sooner or later, somebody that will be able to.
And I have been
understand.
offering to clean up his apartment. His apartment is a mess.
Yeah.
And I am expert at cleaning messes. Oh, by the way, just another little thing. I'm the Dover picker-upper.
Yeah.
I call myself that, and a lot of other people call me that, the Dover picker-upper. I pick up trash, and I see to it it gets into the dumpster. It gets into the dumpster, so it's not all over the street and whatnot.
You know, I've been trying to help Bart move since 1999. I've been wanting him to leave the situation, especially when he got robbed in 2004 and his apartment got.
Oh, yeah.
And he was too traumatized, so that was his excuse.
Yeah.
But in 2004, now it's 2017.
17, and he's not out yet, no.
And he's stuck. He's, and I guess he had hopes that the university would be doing more work at the university this year, this is his life. But what do you think is holding him back? all this time with all this abuse?
Well, he wants to relocate in Amherst, Mass.
Yeah,
He
now,
wants to relocate there. Of course, it may take some time to do this, but I'm waiting to see how that's going to work out. And I'm waiting for that. And I know another thing. If I go out of here, yes, I have some savings. I have some savings. But if I go out of here, whether I'm forced out, and they may try to force me out if I don't let the bedbug people into my apartment. Because, and I told them, they're thieves. They're thieves.
right,
And I said, I don't want thieves in my apartment. And but they don't listen to you. They don't listen. They just have their way of doing things.
so if you get forced out, what do you plan to do? You plan on going to Amherst with Bart?
I think I might. I have a feeling that I might. If I stay in Dover, I'll probably have to stay in a much more expensive place. This is another thing Bart is hoping. That once he gets his stuff up on the internet, and once it gets a little better known than it is now,
Yeah,
we go after them.
yeah.
We're going to go after them, but we've got to get a lawyer that's not infected with the disease known as Doveritis.
So,
They're right here. These were dumped here. Of course, we didn't see Sean doing this, but we know he did it.
maybe you should keep them close.
I don't know whether you can photograph that or not. But they've been known to do this. They've been known to sprinkle these things in people's apartments. As the other night, when they came to the door here, they're coming on the 22nd of the month, if necessary, to force their way in here. And they're not going to. I'm
22nd
not
of
going to
August.
let them in. I've got a thing I can put on the door there that will jam the door. They'd have to smash it down. As long as we get a lawyer that's not infected with
Yeah,
Doveritis.
well, that's your job.
And the other thing is, a lot of the police force is corrupt.
But they don't want to lose their bar,
Yeah.
so
And
lawyers.
the police cooperate with Dover Housing at all times and under all circumstances, and they know that they're protected that way. And Bart and I both believe that a lot of these guys have criminal records of various degrees, and management has in effect said to them, you do what we want you to do, and we will protect you. And when we both said that we didn't like Sean, we were told by Leno and one of the women that is, what is her name? Conway Dorr. Her last name is Conway Dorr. She's not the boss, he isn't the boss, but they're like second lieutenants, if you want to put it that way. And they both said, "What? I don't understand it. You and Bart are the only ones that claim to have trouble with the Sean. Everybody loves him in here, and he's a good boy. He does what he's told." I said, "Yes, he does do what he's told. If management tells him to do it, he does what he's told." "Well, I don't know about that." Well, I said, "We know about that."